Happy Sunday, Tampa Bay. We're with you for another week here on the Duncan Duo Show, talking about the Tampa Bay real estate market like we are every Sunday at 10 right here on WFLA News. I am super excited for a lot of events coming up that I want to talk about. The very first one, the St. Pete Grand Prix. I'm going to be there all week. I'll be at the race. I'll be at LPTX, which is LPT's annual conference, talking about a lot of the LPT Realty tools with Robert Palmer. But the thing I'm excited about most, and I've actually got the shirt on today. I know y'all listening can't see my shirt, but if you watch the video or the playback on YouTube, you'll get to see it. But I'm wearing my McLaren 720S shirt. I am going to be racing on the St. Pete Grand Prix racetrack on Thursday afternoon with several of the leaders and executives from LPT Realty. I'm going to be in my McLaren 720S, and I'm just crossing my fingers and praying that there's no rain, because it's been, it's definitely been a dream of mine to drive on that racetrack. Having gone the last few years and seen it, seeing the race and just being a race car fan. I grew up across the street from the Indy 500, so I've always been an Indy race car fan, and I've always been a McLaren fan, and their race team is going to be out in full force. I'm sure I'm probably going to be coming home with a lot of LPT Realty and McLaren merchandise. I'm hoping upon hope that I can get an LPT and McLaren combined snapback. That would be pretty cool. I know they're working on some stuff, some neat merch for the event. But nonetheless, I'll be out there racing, and I hope it doesn't get rained out. It's a bucket list of mine to be able to drive on an actual racetrack with my McLaren. So super excited about that. If you're a real estate agent locally and you want to attend, send me a message on any one of my socials. It's $299 to attend. Lots of great information and value that's going to be there. And I have a private mastermind that I'm doing at my house on Friday for agents that are doing above $50 million in production. Send me a DM on any of my social channels if you're a real estate agent and you want to attend the mastermind, and I'll get you the invite link. So, want to move on to talk about mortgage rates. Mortgage rates fluctuate. Look, they're up, they're down. There's a lot of speculation about what is going to happen in the second half of the year with mortgage rates. But I want to give you guys this tip. This is an insider tip on how you can get a mortgage in the 2, 3, or 4% range. And I know if you're listening right now, you might say to yourself, there's no way to get a mortgage for 2 or 3 or 4% because mortgage rates are 6 or 7 right now. So one of the things that our team does, and if you're not working with a real estate agent that's exhausting every opportunity for you to save money on your purchase, you might be working with the wrong one. You definitely want to hit us up at theduncanduo.com or at theduncanduo on any of our socials. But one of the things that you can do, and there are tools that we have to help make this happen, is search for homes that are for sale that have assumable mortgages. VA and FHA loans are commonly assumable. Some other types of loan products can be, but those are typically the mortgages that are likely to be assumable. And what you can essentially do is you can buy a property and assume the prior owner's mortgage and pay the difference in cash and effectively get a 2, 3, or 4% mortgage. So I saw an article this week where a consumer recently, locally, bought a property with a 2.6% mortgage rate because they simply assumed it. Now, you do have to qualify. However, you do not have to be a veteran to assume a VA loan. A lot of people misunderstand that. They think they have to be a veteran. A lot of the lenders are not great at the assumption of mortgages, so you need to work with a great agent that will set the right guidelines for you, because essentially it is going to be a few-month process, a longer process than a typical mortgage origination. But you can assume the prior person's mortgage even if you're not a veteran and their VA. You simply have to qualify with your credit score. Now, the soldier or the veteran that has the VA loan will reduce their VA eligibility until you pay off or refinance out of a VA loan. That basically goes against what they're able to qualify for in terms of VA. So they may not be able to go out and buy as much or as an expensive house or a VA at all, depending on their financial circumstances, while you're assuming their mortgage. However, there are times where it does make sense, and there are homeowners that miss this commonly when they're selling their property, because those properties are more valuable. Consumers will pay a premium to be able to get a property with that low of an interest rate. So if you're a home seller and you have an FHA mortgage and it has a really low interest rate, when you look to sell your property, look, all of our agents are going to ask those questions, okay? But there are a lot of real estate agents that aren't my real estate agents, that aren't at the amazing company like LPT Realty, and are going to miss some of these details. I have seen consumers sell their homes that had 3 or 4% assumable mortgages, didn't get a premium on the house at all, and the buyer never even knew and couldn't assume the mortgage, and simply ended up buying it and getting a 7% mortgage. There was a way that financial transaction could be handled better, and both people could have won on a better level. So if you are a seller and you have a low interest mortgage, determine if it is assumable before you go on the market. If it is, that is a huge value proposition that will help you in marketing the home and help you get a better price and potentially help you get more money and help the buyer save a lot of money. So assumable mortgages are out there. You just got to know where to look, and you got to work with agents that are going to comb the databases and use the resources and tools to be able to help you. As both buyers and sellers, it is an option that, something that you need to uncover. Now, is it super common? No, but there are times where it's being missed, and there are consumers who aren't getting the value that they should get for their property simply because it is a detail that a real estate agent is missing. So there are a lot of real estate agents that got into the business the last few years that don't cross their T's and dot their I's, and they're just looking for that next commission check. They're not necessarily a professional looking at every detail to try and maximize their client's financial position. So that is what we do, and that is what our hope is to do. So if you are someone that's looking for that as an option, make sure to look us up. But make sure otherwise, if you are working with someone else, to tell your real estate agent what you have and what is going on, and help them troubleshoot and find you the best path with a potential either assumable mortgage purchase or the value add of an assumable mortgage sale. So again, you're listening to the Duncan Duo Real Estate Show here on WFLA News. I'm Andrew Duncan. When we aren't on air, again, at the Duncan Duo, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, every social channel at the Duncan Duo. We would love the opportunity to share information with you online about what's going on in real estate, some of the videos that we put out, as well as some of our new listings that hit the market. I want to transition next to another event that we have, and this is our annual appreciation party. So if you're listening to this show right now and you fit any of these criteria, number one, you're a real estate agent, okay, you're invited. Number two, you have someone in the past that has worked with my real estate team. It doesn't mean it has to be your last transaction. It could be something from 20 years ago. Did you buy a house with us? Did you sell a house with us? Did you buy one of our listings? Did we list your house? Any of those people qualify to come to our event. It is on April 7th. On all of our social channels, you can hit the link in our bio. You can DM us. You'll see emails about it. We'll be putting the link pretty much everywhere on our social channels and on our own website. You can RSVP, completely free event on April 7th at Amalie Arena from 2 to 6 p.m. Here's the really neat part about the event at Amalie. You get to do something that very few people get to do. You get to skate on the Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning Amalie Arena ice. Now, we're not letting you shoot pucks. You're not out there playing hockey, but you do get to skate on the ice. It is a family-friendly event. You can bring your entire family. Your kids are welcome. Free food. We're going to have some really cool merch giveaway, some signed Lightning jerseys, and just a great family event. Again, Sunday, April 7th from 2 to 6. We'll have some really cool stuff that we're going to announce, some other things that we're going to do alongside the event. But if you're a real estate agent or you are a past client of my real estate team over the past 20 years, we would love to see you. I'd love to meet you. I'll be there the whole time. Meeting everyone and thanking them is our way of showing appreciation for you, blessing our business and using our company over the past 20 years to help our growth. We would love to see you there. So again, it'll be some great food, some cool giveaways, skating on the Amalie Arena ice. We'll have some other entertainment going on. We'll have some awards as well, that we give out to both agents and our clients, and hope to see you there again on April 7th. For our appreciation night. Again, agents as well as clients are invited, and we hope to see you there. So I talked earlier about mortgage rates and how they fluctuated. There are a lot of people starting to believe that the real estate market is heating up, kind of as we close out the first quarter or move into the end of the first quarter with March, and so spring market is starting to feel like it's here a little early, according to a lot of the statistics that are coming out. But what I want to talk about next are the Tampa real estate statistics. So every month, the local MLS puts out stats, and I like to talk about them to give you an idea of what is going on in our market. And it's relevant because you hear a lot of things on the national news about, hey, here's what's going on in real estate, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's what's happening in Tampa. So in Tampa for January, we had 2,218 total sales. That was slightly less than last year by like 2 percentage points. Our average sale price was $444,123 compared to $433,137 last year. So a couple percentage points, 2-3% appreciation. Average days on market 55. And here's the figure that I found interesting. Typically from December to January, we see a drop in inventory. We see people either take their house off the market or not as many people coming on the market. This year, I think we have a lot of sellers getting ahead of this and deciding, you know what, I'm going to sell my home because I want to buy because I expect interest rates are going to drop, or they just simply decide it's time to take their equity. For the first time in more than 5 years, we went above the 4 number on month supply of inventory. We have 4.22 months supply of inventory. So we have more homes coming on the market. Homes are still selling in 55 days, so they're still selling at a comparable clip to the last couple of years. Certainly taking a little longer than the 21 and 22 COVID years, and 20. The impact of those. A few more homes coming on the market, but 4.2 is still a seller's market. Not as drastic of a seller's market. A balanced market we consider around 6 months of inventory. So we're still in the seller's market, just not as drastic of a seller's market as we saw, a couple of years ago and even last year. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the spring. Do we see that inventory number come down? Do we see it rise? A lot of economic volatility this year with the elections and interest rates. So it'll be interesting to see what Tampa experiences the next few months. I believe we're going to see a pickup in the second half of the year with sales, and 24 will be a better year than 23. So, again, you're listening to the Duncan Duo Real Estate Show. We're going to continue this conversation after a quick break here on WFLA News. So we're back here on the Duncan Duo Show talking about the Tampa Bay real estate market. I'm Andrew Duncan, and I want to talk next about social media. Look, social media changed the game for real estate advertising. And it's interesting because, when social media first came out, the whole premise of it was to stay in touch with your friends and family. And now social media has just become social. It's where people rely on their social connections. It's where they get their news. It's where they watch their media, their news. So I saw a video this week, and it reminded me of how far and how edgy real estate marketing has got. I remember probably like a decade ago doing videos where we would hire actors and act out scenes at properties. And it's still something that we do today, but on a shorter, smaller, more kind of hope to be viral and edgy. But to cut through the kind of the filters and to cut through the monotony of social media, you have to stand out so much to get traction on social media. So I saw a video this week, and the agent was walking through a house and in a funny way, while cursing a lot, talking about a specific property. And I thought to myself, could I do that? Could I go through and do that? And would that be beneficial? And I'm curious what you think as you're listening to the show. If you think that some of the really funny real estate videos that cuss a lot and kind of make fun of houses are effective to gain traction, post on our social media, send us a DM, let us know your comments and feedback. I'd love to know what your thoughts are. My thoughts are that a lot of times I think agents are doing it because they don't have a spotlight, they don't have business, they don't have marketing or lead gen, and they're trying to do something to differentiate themselves and be funny in hopes that this can get a spotlight on their business so that they can get other business. For me, I feel like if I went out and did something like that, it could be a deterrent because I already have a brand, I already have a spotlight, I already have billboards and TV and radio. So I go back and forth whether or not I want to do one of those funny parody videos because is it taken seriously or not? And I've done some funny billboards, right? I've impersonated Joe Exotic. I've impersonated Tom Cruise, Vin Diesel from Fast and Furious, Santa Claus. So I've done some funny, kind of tongue-in-cheek billboards, but taking it to the next level with some of the edginess and cursing and maybe some inappropriate things is something that I've been hesitant to do, even though I watch them and think that they're hilarious. So anyway, something I've tinkered with and thought about, again, sometimes these videos, they're kind of mocking a house, or, like I saw one where it's like, we cook stuff here, we take a blank here, we, this is where we put couches, and here's 2 closets, and cussing the whole time. And it's funny, but I don't know if it's really selling the house, or is it getting more attention and making the agent go viral, and how much business does that actually translate to them? So it's something I've steered clear of going too edgy. I think there are properties where you can be a little edgy because that's kind of either the location of the property. Like if I had a condo on South Howard Avenue, I think you could do some funny, edgy stuff, right? If we had a condo and we filmed a scene around some sort of fun Gasparilla type thing, I think you could make it cool and edgy. But doing that on a regular, regular property in a regular neighborhood, sometimes I think can backfire. So anyway, I'm interested in your thoughts. What do you think about some of the videos out there on social media that real estate agents do? Do you like them? Would you hire that agent? Would you not hire that agent? Do you think it's unprofessional? Do you think it shows poorly upon the house? I saw one where literally the agent is walking through the entire house making fun of it. And, I don't know if that really props the house up and helps it sell. I'd love to know. It's interesting, and maybe it's something I can study. I'd love to reach out to some of the agents that have done those videos and said, hey, outside of what it might have done for you personally, in terms of advertising you as an agent or helping you get more followers or helping you get more business, did it help sell the property? Are they doing it and it's helping sell the property, or are they doing it and only getting, kind of love for themselves? So that is something I'm always curious about. But you see some of these videos about real estate showings going viral, and sometimes they go viral because the house is incredible. Like I've seen some properties, some really high-end luxury, $20, $30, $50 million properties with videos that weren't edgy, that weren't offending people, but go viral just because the house is so incredible. But again, I saw one the other day, and it was a property, I think in Texas. It was $288,000. And the video went completely viral, thousands of shares, thousands of views. And the guy was literally walking through the house making fun of it. and making fun of the person that would buy it. And it was really, really funny. I just don't know if it's actually really working to sell the house or if it's making the agent look unprofessional. So love your thoughts on that. We're going to continue our conversation after a break. When we aren't on air, please follow us at The Duncan Duo, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. We're on all of them. And if you want a free home value estimate, look, there are a lot of websites out there that will promise you a value estimate, okay? They'll tell you what the number is going to be. There are also a lot of them that are wrong, that don't have great data, or that don't have the human connection to have an agent look at the data and help adjust the data so your value can be accurate. We provide that. DuncanDuo.com. You can get your home value. You can get a cash offer. You can set an appointment directly with an agent. You go through the portal at DuncanDuo.com. It's going to give you all the data about everything going on in your neighborhood. And you can do that again at DuncanDuo.com to get your value estimate anywhere in the country. If you own real estate here locally in Tampa Bay, great, we've got you. If you own real estate somewhere else, we can do your value there too. And if you own lots of pieces of real estate, you can sign up and plug in all of your properties. We have a lot of customers that have done that. And it allows us to kind of keep a pulse on what's going on in your neighborhood, help you make decisions about the real estate that you own, help you understand the value, almost in a sense of helping guiding you on your assets. So again, you can do that at DuncanDuo.com. We're going to be back after a quick break here on WFLA News. So we're back here on the Duncan Duo Show talking about the Tampa Bay real estate market. I'm Andrew Duncan of the Duncan Duo with LPT Realty. One of the things that LPT Realty launched recently is a luxury collection, and I think it is awesome. Robert Palmer, founder of the company, a marketer at heart, grew a great big mortgage company. Now he's growing a great big real estate company, fastest growing brokerage in the U.S. My favorite part of some of the tools they've announced recently, though, are what we're doing for luxury properties. Now, look, everyone knows that luxury properties need a different type of marketing. They need print marketing. They need high-end, high-quality print marketing. But what Robert has done is he has bought billboards in bulk, okay, so that we're able to take a luxury, like high-end exclusive property and put it on a billboard. And I know people might say, like, hey, will that really get traction for the consumer? And I think that it does. It does, because I do a lot of billboards and I get a lot of business from them. So the ability for me to now put a property on a billboard, and not just put a luxury property on a billboard, but target it and put it on where consumers are moving from. So for example, we can do demographic studies to figure out where a consumer is likely to be selling or moving from to buy in that neighborhood where that luxury property is, and place the digital billboard in that neighborhood. So an example would be if we're seeing migration from Carrollwood to South Tampa and you've got a high-end South Tampa property, you could put the billboard up on Mabry and Carrollwood. So it's really incredible. If you've got a luxury property to sell and your agent isn't putting it on a billboard, I would love, if your agent doesn't sell the property, I would love to put your property on a billboard. I think it's just a super cool thing we can do for luxury properties that not a lot of agents are able to offer, that we're able to offer at LPT Realty. And again, I believe in billboards. I've done them. They work. So again, you're listening to the Duncan Duo Real Estate Show. When we aren't on air, follow us at the Duncan Duo on all of our social channels, and make sure to follow us if you want to put your high-end property on a billboard, because we would love to do that. We want to showcase more luxury properties through LPT Realty. with our billboard plans and our print marketing plans. And it's a way for us to get exposure to your property in a different place. It's no different than me doing a real estate show here on the station where, I'm the real estate voice that you're hearing, or having a billboard in an area of town where I know I'm going to be the only person there. The same type of advertising that I've used to build my business. Now we have the ability to use some of that type of advertising to sell a high-end property. So, definitely a great opportunity for that. And we've been working with a lot of luxury clients lately. We've got a $2.7 million, $2.8 million waterfront condo in downtown St. Pete going on the market, a $2 million estate in Lakeland. We just listed an 875 in South Tampa. We've got a 1.9 condo on Bayshore. So we've definitely been listing a lot of luxury properties, and this new tool that we have with LPT to put the properties in a massive print marketing plan that allows us to directly market to neighborhoods, and then a billboard that allows us to market that property to a specific neighborhood or audience where it's going to get the most traction is something pretty incredible. So I'm really excited about launching that and some of the tools that are coming out next week at LPT Connect, which is LPT's annual conference. I do a rally for LPT each month. If you're a real estate agent thinking about joining, you can go to jointheduo.com, or if you want to get exclusive videos that I put out about the real estate industry. So if you're a real estate agent and you want videos about, how to improve your business, how to copy things that I've done, or how to use the materials that I have, you can go to duovermovement.com, and I'm going to spell it for you. It's DUO, like the Duncan duo, duover, DUOVER, movement.com. You can sign up there. We send educational videos every month that are meant to help real estate agents, and I'm going to continue my path of helping real estate agents see LPT as the path for them with that website by creating marketing materials and sharing the stuff that we're doing at duovermovement.com. So if you're a real estate agent, we'd love for you to join us on the journey and help you see that the path with LPT is the right one. And we do the third Wednesday of every month. I do a rally at our office where we share all the tools about LPT. So you can come to that. You can send us a DM. We can send you the Eventbrite link for our rally. And we'd love to have you at that. And we'd also love to have you at our appreciation party coming up on April 7th at Amalie Arena. And again, when we aren't on air, at The Duncan Duo on all of our social channels. Previous segments of the show, I talked about the market statistics. I talked about assumable mortgages. Okay, a really key thing here for both buyers and sellers. Sellers know if find out if your mortgage is assumable. If it's VA or FHA mortgage, there's a good chance that it is. And if it is, you can get more money for your house because the buyer will pay a premium to be able to assume your mortgage in many instances. It also could be what allows you to get the home sold to begin with. So definitely want to know if that's happening, with your property when you go to buy or sell it. Next, I want to give some home seller tips. We're approaching our spring market, and this time of year, we start to see inventory rise. And this year, it's no different than other years in that seasonally we see inventory rise as the spring market starts to come. We've already started to see that. This year, because a lot of people are predicting interest rates to drop in the second half of the year, there are a lot of sellers getting in front of that and saying, okay, if we expect interest rates to drop in the second half of the year, now that the second quarter is almost here, let me think about getting my house on the market. So I want to help the sellers out there get the most money they possibly can or the most convenience, because every seller is typically geared towards one of those two. They either want maximum convenience or maximum price. Sometimes they want both, but there's a little give in there with what they're able to do depending on the quality of their property. So if you want a home value estimate and you want a path and a guide where we can send you a PDF of how to effectively market your home, just go to duncanduo.com, get your home value estimate. You're going to get a PDF and a video from us of some things that we recommend you do. Some of those things I want to share with our audience here. And I think curb appeal is something that gets missed far too often. You only have one chance to make a first impression. Far too often I see homes go on the market that are renovated or incredible, and then their mulch isn't freshened up, or the yard isn't cut nice, or they haven't painted the house, or it's dirty on the outside, or the driveway is really stained and needs pressure washed. The curb appeal matters more than anything you can do on the inside of the house. So if you have a choice between, let's just say you only have a certain amount of money that you can spend to improve your property, the very first place that you should go is curb appeal. Improve the curb appeal of your property before you go inside, because guess what? If the curb appeal is bad, you're not going to get anyone into the inside of the house, okay? The second thing is professional photography really, really, really matters. Way too many people cutting corners and hiring agents that don't have a marketing budget and take pictures themselves, try and edit pictures themselves, take them with their iPhone. Maybe a few pictures come out okay, but a lot of them don't look the way that they should if it was a professional photographer taking them. Video is really important as well. We take a walkthrough video of every property because it isn't just about the customer seeing the photos. It's about them being able to experience the house. They can do that with a walkthrough video. They can't do that with photos. They can't see the layout. They can't feel the flow of the home. Walkthrough video is definitely the way to go. Another thing that I recommend if you are a home seller, and this is really, really crucial. So many home sellers mess this up, and so many agents aren't strong enough with their home sellers to explain this to them, okay? Home sellers, you should not be present for showings, ever. You should not turn down showings, ever, okay? Those two things are highly important. You only need to sell the property to one person. Every showing that you turn down could be the impulse buyer that was ready to pull the trigger that day, that looked at everything online, that fell in love with your house, and another one, you turned them away and they went and bought another one, okay? When you were selling your home, think of it as a joint venture. You now have a new business, and your business is putting the money from the proceeds from the sale of your property. That means every day having the property available and ready to show, cleaned up, looking nice, looking neat, okay? And not turning down showings. The more showings you turn down, the less likely you are to sell your house, and the more money you're going to leave on the table because it sits on the market longer, and then eventually buyers start to think something that's wrong. And the only thing that may be wrong is that you turned down too many showings and lost your buyer because you didn't understand this and you wanted to put people on your time. You cannot put a home buyer that wants to emotionally attach to something on your time. You can't put the more resistance you put in between the buyer and seeing your home, the less likely your home is to sell and the more likely it is to sell for less money. So you need to provide access to every possible buyer you can, and you need to not be there, okay? I understand you probably don't want someone walking through your house, okay? Selling a home isn't convenient. If you want convenience, hit up DuncanDuo.com and take a cash offer, okay? We'd love to give you a cash offer if you want convenience, okay? But if you're going to sell your home traditionally through the retail path, you can't follow people through the house. You can't show up at the open house and walk around and, you're like a mom on a first date. You're like sitting behind somebody at the theater trying to stalk around your kids. It's super uncomfortable. The consumer does not want you leg humping them as they walk through the house and try and fall in love. That first showing for a consumer is kind of like a first date, okay? The first date isn't a fact-finding mission, okay? The first date is an emotional attachment, a physical attraction, okay? That same kind of attraction people have to houses. They don't care about the facts. They don't care how old the fridge is and what how old the roof is in the first showing. They want to emotionally experience the home and fall in love. If you're following them around the house, okay, stalking them in every room, feeling like a creeper, guess what? They're not going to buy your house. They're going to feel weird, and they're going to be rushed out of the house, and they're going to go buy another one. So, sellers, don't be there. Get out of the house. Always have the house looking nice, tidy, and clean outside and inside, okay? Provide absolutely no barriers to people seeing the home. The more barriers you put in place, the more likely you are to miss customers. And agents are not strong enough with their clients sometimes, and then the client wants convenience. Oh, I don't want to show the home tonight. I'm at dinner. Well, guess what? You probably just lost money. I hope that dinner was worth $10,000 because that's how much of a price reduction you're going to need in the next month when your house doesn't sell because you kept turning people down. So you've got to set up a situation where you understand the importance of saying yes to every single showing, sacrificing, getting people in, and then not following them around. Sales statistics show us clearly the longer they're in your house, the more likely they are to buy it. The easier the path for them to get into the house, the more likely they are to buy it. If you are there, we know statistically they're not going to stay in the home as long, which means they're going to leave. They're not going to feel comfortable, and they're going to go buy another house. So hopefully this makes sense for you sellers. Don't be there. Have the house looking neat, tidy, and clean. Provide easy access and be as available as the house possibly can be. It is an extra joint venture business that you're in business with your real estate agent to get your home sold, and you need to make sure that there is no deterrent. It would be like Walmart running ads saying, hey, come buy all this stuff on Black Friday, and you showing up and the door's closed. You're going to go somewhere else and buy stuff. And that's what consumers do. So eliminate the barriers to showings, and you are going to maximize the opportunity for you to sell your house. Hopefully that's helpful. We're going to be back after a quick break here on the Duncan Duo Show. So we're back here on the Duncan Duo Show talking about the Tampa Bay real estate market. MacDill Air Show coming soon. Super excited about it. Right now, we've got a lot of jets flying over in Tampa. I feel like you hear it a lot in South Tampa, but there's other parts of Tampa Bay where you're not hearing it as much. I live really close to MacDill Air Force Base, so I hear the jets a lot, and I'm hearing them fly over right now, and I love it. To me, it's the sound of freedom. Like, I hear the jets flying over, and I just think it's the coolest thing. I'm a car guy, an adrenaline junkie. I love fast stuff. So when I hear those jets going by, it's kind of exciting. It's kind of cool for me to see that, right? And, I envision what it would be like to be flying one of them, and I just think it's a cool thing. Now, if I ever hear the jets at like 1 or 2 in the morning, then I'd be a little worried because then we might be at war. But as long as they're happening during the day, I love hearing it, right? Well, so I was browsing Nextdoor the other day. And if you've spent any time on Nextdoor, I feel like it's like one of the most toxic forums I've ever seen. If you go onto Nextdoor, it's basically people doing nothing but complaining. I mean, it's wild to me how people complain. I saw someone the other day like complaining about the jets, or complaining about the noise from the base. Like, you didn't know the base was there when you moved into your property? Like, it's been there forever. It's been there longer than your house, right? Like, so, but as I was browsing through, I just noticed an ongoing trend with Nextdoor, and it was like, man, this is like really miserable. I couldn't continue to participate and operate within that website because most of it, and it's meant to be like this app where you share stuff going on in your neighborhood, right? Like, oh, we've got a lost cat, or my dog's run away, or, our house got broken into, or has anyone seen this person? They left, I know what the purpose of it. The purpose of it is to kind of help neighbors look out for neighbors. That was kind of the whole idea, is your person next door is kind of looking out for you, right? And so I remember that was the entire premise of Nextdoor, was to kind of network with people really, really close to you by neighborhood specific stuff. But what I found was that's not really what's happening. Most of it's people complaining about traffic or the development or trees. That's another one. Oh my goodness. Like the people complaining, this person took a tree down or that person took a tree down. It's just literally, to me, Nextdoor needs to be renamed. Like, it needs to be completely renamed to Complaint Nextdoor, because it is a site where people go. And so the reason I bring up the air show, it's coming in like a month, right? And I remember a couple of years ago, the last time they had the air show, I remember going on Nextdoor and seeing the people, in the comments from people. Like, like bashing it. Like, my dog is scared and I live 3 blocks from the base. It's like, you live 3 blocks from the base and you didn't think you were going to hear jets. Like you didn't know that was going to happen. So anyway, if you ever want to chuckle, if you're ever bored and you want to have a laugh and you want to just see people complain, go to Nextdoor, because that's pretty much what most of it is. And again, I think it can be a really valid utility. Don't get me wrong. There's times I go on there if like I found, like we found a dog at one point. We went on there to try and see if someone was missing a dog. And there are times where there's stuff coming out, or like the city of Tampa will push something out and they'll post it on Nextdoor about a specific neighborhood or road closure, things like that. There's plenty of that happening. But man, I just feel like it's a lot of angry people like complaining about things that they probably, knew about when they moved into an area. So the jets flying overhead right now is a common occurrence. And just the fear mongering that I see on there. It's like, oh, we're going to war. The jets are overhead. It's like, no, they announced this like weeks ago. They fly every day. Like it's pretty common. So anyway, that's my rant on Nextdoor and, making sure to do your due diligence when you buy a property, because you should know what's happening around you. And if you're curious, you know what? If the jets have run you out of town, if you're tired of what's going on in your neighborhood, if you're tired of the jet noise, whether it's from TPA, the airport, whether it's from the base, just hit up DuncanDuo.com. We'd love to give you a cash offer for your house. We'd love to get you to a neighborhood that's nice and quiet for you. You can get your home value estimate. You can get an instant cash offer from us or one of many funds that we work with. And you can do that all at DuncanDuo.com. And one of the things I want to mention about that is when you do request a cash offer from us, we're a local company that's looking to buy properties in addition to helping people sell. We want to give the client their full path. We want to let them know, hey, look, here's what's going to happen traditionally. Here's what's going to happen if you go this way. Here's what's going to happen in an instant cash scenario, because every person's financial motives are different. It's no secret that the concept has been proven that plenty of consumers want to sell directly and not go through the traditional process. So we want to provide an outlet for them to do that. And we're a local company, giving locally, spending locally, hiring local contractors, keeping the money local, not a Wall Street fund that's sending the money back to New York. Don't get me started on New York. I could do a whole show about New York. But we are a local home buyer in addition to being a local real estate brokerage, and you can get that information about the value of a property and a cash offer at DuncanDuo.com. Don't forget to follow us on all of our socials. Again, at The Duncan Duo, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, at The Duncan Duo. And if you're a real estate agent thinking about a career change, you want to come to our career night, you want to go to our LPT rally, hit up jointheduo.com. Again, that is jointheduo.com. If you're a real estate agent thinking about making a move or getting into the industry, jointheduo.com. And we hope you have an awesome rest of your weekend, Tampa Bay. Thanks for tuning in.